Hey, Thomas.
Oh, hey man, what's up?
Just been wondering why people outside of the Skylanders community hate Skylanders. Any ideas?
Oh boy, this is gonna take a while.
Why?
Because it's ridiculous!
Hey there, everyone. I'm Riel from Yourself Productions, and today, with me, I have this very special guest.
Hey there, guys. Portalmaster9351 here.
And in this video, we're going to discuss something that has never really been talked about in depth before.
Yes, that being why Skylanders is so hated by people outside of the Skylanders community.
So, without further ado, let's get into the reasons why we think Skylanders is hated. In my opinion, this is actually the main reason why Skylanders is hated.
So basically, yeah, Spyro is one of the main reasons, and it's mainly because people feel like they've, ruined their childhood with Spyro, and they feel like that by taking him out of his original gaming environment and trying to shove him into a kid's Toys to Life game, I feel like that really ticked a lot of people off. I feel, though, like the number one reason that Spyro sort of affects Skylanders being hated is because they changed Spyro's art style, and I don't know why that makes people so mad, but that's usually the number one reason I hear why people are saying they hate how they did Spyro in Skylanders.
Yeah, and that's something I could agree with. Like, I could agree with them that Activision, took Spyro and they swept him to the side. And I mean, it's a character that a lot of people grew up with, and it's like if they took Mario and they just made him just an amiibo and then just took him away forever and didn't make any games about him.
Yeah.
But then again, that shouldn't be the whole reason that you hate a game. You should judge a game on how it plays. It's not like Super Mario, Sonic, or Crash Bandicoot and the original Spyro games were really aimed towards adults.
Yeah, and see, we were talking about this the other day, but video games were never geared towards adults to begin with. The first video games were almost exclusively aimed towards kids, and most of the most successful gaming franchises today are actually geared towards kids. So I think that's an invalid reason, to be perfectly honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's just go by these people's rules for a bit. If it's like this, then I guess you shouldn't be watching any Disney movies or play any video games that are really meant for kids, like Mario or Crash or anything like that.
Exactly. It's dumb. So, a lot of people don't like the fact that it's Toys to Life, right? And I think the number one reason for this is the gaming community as a whole looks down on the whole concept of DLC. I can't remember what game it is, but I know that there was some game that a game developer released that you literally could not finish the story unless you bought DLC. And there were a whole bunch of other issues with DLC that I think turned a lot of people off, and I think a lot of people have a hard time looking at Toys to Life and not seeing it as DLC, and seeing it more as a collectible aspect rather than a DLC aspect. They have a hard time separating that. And in all honesty, I think that if DLC wasn't a thing, Toys to Life would actually not be hated as much because of that negative association would not be there from DLC.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because with this whole Toys to Life thing, people, like you said, they see it as a cash grab, and they're like, oh, well, you're just wasting your money on all of this. But really, if you look at it from a different perspective, it was originally created in just to be, I don't know, a fun collector's thing, because they know how many people like to collect toys, so they're like, oh, why not make something useful out of this, This one I could agree with, but it's really up to you, the player, that will choose if they want to buy all of the characters. For most of the games, you only need a few Skylanders to complete the whole game, except Trap Team, where you needed to buy one of each element for the Trap Masters.
So yeah, I will kind of agree with this too, in a way. See, I think that this is only a problem with the later games. The first few games didn't really have this problem. It started with Swap Force and got really bad with Trap Team, and actually, in my opinion, Imaginators is the absolute worst example of it being too expensive. I don't necessarily think that it is necessarily a direct result from it being Toys to Life. Like, that's not the real reason to hate it. You know, Toys to Life games are expensive, because that's not true. The game itself is not expensive. It's when you want to actually start, you know, completing every single aspect of the game is sort of when it starts getting expensive. So my response to anyone who says the game is too expensive is that the game is only as expensive as you let it be.
Yeah, that's actually really well said.
See, too many games. This is the dumbest argument, I think, that we have on this list, to be perfectly honest with you, because it's not like, you know, Call of Duty has yearly installments or anything. No, they would never do that. They're too great for that. It's not like almost every game nowadays, you know, has like so many sequels out there. Like, this is such a dumb argument. If anything, we should be commending them for releasing so many games in such a short period of time. It really is a dumb reason, in my opinion, to, you know, say a game is bad.
Yeah, I know, because it doesn't matter on, like, how many, like, games are released, like, per year, all that stuff. It all comes down to, like, if the game is good or not. That's what people should be judging it on. Like, really, I guess people see it as a Call of Duty type franchise, that it's just kind of like the same game every year, and it's just a cash grab and all that stuff. But, again, you need to play the games to actually have an opinion on it.
The only one where I'll say that it shouldn't have been a new game is Skylanders Giants, because it was basically an expansion pack to the original game, but every other game has been very unique and self-contained.
Yeah. In the end, it all comes down to opinions. If you don't like Skylanders, like, that's fine by me, but the only problem is when people forcefully try to tell people that they cannot like a game.
And vice versa, I can't make you like a game, and it's a problem when people try to say, this game is so great, and force that opinion on someone else. We're all entitled to our own opinions here.
Yep. Alright everyone, thanks for watching this video. Tell me whether or not you agree with me and Portalmaster9351 down in the comments.
And also, thank you for watching this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, not just on this video, but on all of your self-productions videos, and all of my videos as well. Thank you once again for watching.
Ridiculous!